cluster of stars has gravitated to the heavyweight division. For the time being, this newly crowned champion's light shines the brightest. This old star could make boxing history and eclipse all others. This Nova claims he still has the fire, while this shooting star seeks a collision with the championship. Former Olympic gold medalist Ray Mercer wants to shine among the heavyweight stars. Undefeated as a professional, Merciless Ray challenges the WBO heavyweight champion, Francesco Damiani. This Italian stallion is also undefeated, with hopes of shining among the division's elite. Tonight, from Atlantic City, Top Rank presents Night of the Heavyweights. Also featured, undefeated Tommy the Duke Morrison against James Quick Tillis. And undefeated Bruce Seldon against Jose Ribalta. Coming up, heavyweights do battle on the boardwalk.
As these two young fighters tonight, and when they get in against even tougher competition, it'll be more of a give and take as it was with Ray Mercer and Bert Cooper. Then there are lots of heavyweight fights out there that don't involve Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and George Foreman that they can engage in that don't involve any kind of a title.
Yeah, and Ray Mercer now and Francesco Damiani, who are still to come, have to take a look at this fight and say, wait a minute, this is supposed to be our showcase, and right now it's a couple of other guys who are making the news. Now, Francesco Damiani, who is not incidentally the winner of the Jerry Cooney lookalike contest,
but close.
Yes, in his dressing room warming up and trying to get loose for his encounter with Ray Mercer. And again, both the people that preceded him that won have looked very impressive, and I think the onus is even more on these two guys now.
It probably is, because they're the ones that are presumably much closer to the major fight. Of course, they're fighting for a WBO heavyweight title. And yes, it's like following a great entertainment act, right? Yeah, the guy in front of you opens great, you better be good.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's what has happened so far. So tonight, it's Damiani and Mercer who are theoretically selling tickets, but you have an idea it's Morrison and Seldon who might be selling them the next time around. Now to the main event, and that main event between Ray Mercer and Francesco Damiani, and we were talking about what we might say to one another at this segment of the show, and I think what we were going to talk about is the fact that the winner of this fight has to not only win but be impressive, and I think based on what we have already seen, that's even more true for these two now than it was before the fight started.
Yeah, I think it is, because what we have is two boxers amazingly fighting for the WBO title who are kind of having their coming out party and getting it rather late. Francesco Damiani getting it at the age of 32 because he stayed amateur for a long time and was also fighting in Europe. For Ray Mercer at 29, he is getting a late party because he was an amateur and had to wade his way through some of the pros in the last year and a half. Very important for them to be impressive.
One word that I think is going to be very important for both fighters, that word is jab. Whoever can do it is likely to win it.
And for Ray Mercer especially, he keeps Damiani on the end of the jab. He wins this fight.
Well, it's interesting too, I think, that these two guys almost are mirror images of one another. We talked about the fact that they were both Olympians. Damiani in 1988. They both had one impressive victory. Tonight, one of them will stand apart from the other one. Will it be Damiani or Mercer?
In 88, during the Olympic year, I just said I'm going to take, one step at a time, one fight at a time. And everything, I was training hard as I could, and everything was like coming easy. I was over there for a week, and I still was trying to convince myself that I was on an Olympic team, and I'm over here in the Olympic. I couldn't believe it. It was a dream of mine to make the Olympic team. And, making it and doing the best I can do, and that being enough, representing every American in the world, I was just so proud. I really didn't start believing until after, they threw the gold medal around my neck. And that's when I knew, that everything was for real. Like, it's no dream. it's, you know, you can't describe a feeling like that, but it's something that nobody can ever take from me, and I think it's a feeling that you would never experience again. So I'm always going to cherish that.
When you fight in a tournament for the world title, your immediate goal is to get to the final. So you have a lot of opponents to beat. Stevens clearly was a legend at that time in amateur boxing. He was the top. And to beat him was a major accomplishment and made me really very happy. Of course, that was a turning point in my career. Naturally, the victory opened a lot of doors for me and made me famous worldwide. I was an amateur fighter for 2 more years after that. And the success that followed allowed me to enter professional fighting with a positive attitude.
Damiani is undefeated since turning professional. While rising through the ranks of the heavyweight division, he avenged himself against a nemesis from his amateur days, the former Olympic gold medalist, Tyrell Biggs. While campaigning in Europe, the Italian heavyweight captured the WBO World Heavyweight title. Even though this title was not the true world championship, it placed him in the heavyweight fast lane with a chance at the big time.
I think I'm one of the best. I mean, that's what others say. One of the best heavyweights.
At age 27, Ray Mercer debuted as a pro. He demonstrated heavyweight power, but his raw talent needed to be refined. And he showed one other thing, the reason why they call him Merciless Ray. The former Army sergeant had declared war on the heavyweights. 2 years later, Ray Mercer has honed his skills and become a top contender.
I started boxing in the Army, so the Army, to me, deserves all the credit. And being a good soldier, such as, I was a good soldier. And that's how, I got to box or whatever. They teach you discipline, really, and they teach you responsibility. They teach you, it's like in the Army, you go to war, you don't get but one chance. So that's the attitude that I have now.
Both Mercer and Damiani can envision the end of their respective rainbows. They're both looking for the same pot of gold. But only the victor will be close enough to reach for boxing's most coveted prize.
It makes me very happy because it's a great honor to be able to fight in this country. It's a fact that this is the capital of boxing. I hope to do well and come back here to fight maybe with Tyson or Holyfield or whoever will be the world champion then.
If I keep doing what I'm doing now, like I said, you just have to really wait your turn, And I'm going to get that shot, because there's been guys, sorry guys out there getting shots. They probably know they can't win. It's going to take a little longer for me, because people out there know I can win. And when I get in there, I'm going to give everything I got. It's going to be like the old days where the gladiators used to battle, and only one came out alive. And I know that's what kind of fight it's going to be when I fight for the title. Regardless of who I fight, I'm going in with the attitude just like that.
So the words have been spoken. Let's take a look at what the numbers say to us, Al.
The tape tells us that the big difference there, I think, is the fact that Mercer's weight is really perfect at 215. Damiani may be carrying a little too much.
Damiani fighting in the United States for only the 4th to 5th time, I should say. He has won all 4 previous fights, all by knockout. He has 23 knockouts, and yet people are saying he's not really a knockout puncher. Let's talk about the WBO rules and how they differ.
Yeah, the big difference is there is no standing 8 count here, and the rest are pretty much the same as New Jersey, but no standing 8 count.
So the battle of the undefeateds, Ray Mercer and Francesco Damiani. Mercer being rushed along toward what he hopes will be a title shot. He's only had 16 professional fights. His last one was the most impressive, and Francesco Damiani in the United States for the 5th time, starting to make his way, as Ray Mercer now making his way toward the ring. Mercer, remember, is the challenger, and Damiani the champion, albeit not a coveted title really, but nonetheless a title, and as such a stepping stone.
And Ray Mercer should get quite a reaction from this New Jersey crowd. He trains in New Jersey and the Triple Threat Gym, and has a great following here. Visual as well.
Looking all business, if that's a description of how someone looks.
Well, he's faced pressure like this before. The Olympic Games about as pressure-packed as you can get.
Carrying a sign in support of the troops in the Middle East.
Of course, as we've noted, and as you saw, he was in the Army, and that's where he got his start boxing. Some wondering if he'd be to this point this quick, but he's there, and now the question is, for him, can he produce?
Well, and the question was, before his last fight, is he tough enough, mentally tough enough, as opposed to physically tough enough? And I think he answered all those questions against Bert Cooper, because he was hurt.
And he was hurt in that fight, and defending in that bout the NABF title, and you saw held aloft there a moment ago. Signs of support all over here for Ray Mercer.
Very, very popular figure in this part of the country, all through the state of New Jersey. And Francesco Damiani certainly will feel like a lonely man tonight.
It's ironic that he's coming into the strains of Rocky. He's the champion, isn't he?
Sort of Rocco.
I guess the Italian stallion connection is at work there.
People have talked about Damiani for a long time, but he is a classic example of a guy who really has not gotten any respect.
And it's because he has been something of a mystery man here in America. These fans get a glimpse of him, and you watching get a glimpse of him. It's one of those situations where you're not sure what to expect from Damiani. Some tapes have been seen. He's an aggressive kind of a fighter, awkward, and he's got the WBO belt. So everybody's got a belt in there, but his is the one that Ray Mercer really wants right now.
And that, he hopes, will lead to another belt. So Damiani with some fan support, as you see. And you look at the WBO championship belt being held aloft by Damiani's people.
You know, there is a sense, I'm watching this, I have a sense of anticipation about Francesco Damiani to see what he's got to offer.
Yeah, the unknown. He really is that. I saw him on a card several years ago. He was on an undercard of a Larry Holmes fight. He wound up winning the fight. It wasn't in tremendously impressive fashion, but that may have just been the opponent. Let's make it official now and beat him with Michael Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, Top Rank Incorporated and the undisputed, undefeated king of beer, Budweiser, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is approved by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Jerry Gormley, Board members Gary Shaw and Richard Harrison, Deputy Commissioners Lawrence Wallace and R. Yogi Hiltner, Chief Physician at ringside, Dr. Frank V. Doggett, Attending Physicians, Dr. Dominic Coletta Jr., and Nelson Vasquez from Puerto Rico, and Harry Davis of Canada. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Donald J. Trump's Taj Mahal on the boardwalk here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, let's get ready to rumble to 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO World Heavyweight Championship. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of this bout, referee Rudy Battle. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with Project Pride trim. He weighs an even 215 pounds. Originally from Jacksonville, Florida, now fighting for the Triple Threat Gym in Newark, New Jersey. This 9-year U.S. Army veteran won Olympic gold in 1988, now as a professional. He's 16-0 with 11 KOs and currently holds the NABF title and the IBF Intercontinental Heavyweight title. Ranked number 4 in the world by the IBF, tonight he challenges for a world title. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated merciless Mercer. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 229 1/4 pounds in the black trunks with gold trim. He's from Rimini, Italia. This 1984 Olympic silver medalist now has a professional record of 27-0. 23 of his 27 victories by knockout, presenting the undefeated WBO heavyweight world champion Francesco Damiani.
Okay, gentlemen, you've received your pre-fight instructions. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Good luck to both of you. Shake hands.
So what's left is to get on with it, and both fighters looking like they could be a little bit nervous. This is going to be a case, I think, to get a couple of punches thrown, settle down, settle into the fight, and then see what happens.
And if there's anyone that I think is more susceptible early, it's probably Damiani, because Mercer is the bigger puncher. If he were to land something very big early, we might have a big shock in Damiani going out early.
And you talked about the fact that Damiani might be throwing a little extra poundage, and in all honesty, he looks a little bit soft is the word that comes to mind.
Of course, it's tough to judge. I say that, and I think it's true, but he's always been that way, so maybe it's always been a problem.
Well, again, we talk about the fact that the jab is really key in this, and Damiani's history. Good left hand by Mercer. Drove Damiani backwards, but did not seem to hurt him.
But I assure you, Damiani has not faced a puncher like Ray Mercer. As you look down the list of his opponents, there's no one who punches as hard as Ray Mercer in that group, so he'll feel something different tonight.
To emphasize the point about the jab, Damiani's history is that when he is effective with his jab, he does well. But when the other man is effective with his, it takes Damiani's jab away.
And that is what they want Ray Mercer to do in this bout now. Already early, he's kind of ignoring that. And I think, you know, one of the worst things to happen for him may be landing those big left hooks early. It could make him think, I've got to load up, I'll knock him out with one punch. That's been Ray's problem from time to time. They want that stick out there. They want that jab to keep Damiani from doing this. Barry, getting inside where he can throw his little short combinations.
Both fighters a little bit off the mark early.
Damiani will work the body, as will Mercer. Both men are committed to that. There's Mercer digging low.
And if, in fact, Damiani is, as we suspect, perhaps a little soft, body shots are going to tell that.
Mercer is really digging down there as well.
All right, break. Turn loose. Let him go. Step out. Step out.
This is really a good test for both these men.
It is. They're at the level where they should be fighting each other. Damiani's jab, non-effective so far. Mercer's hasn't been that much better, but Ray's been getting there with bigger power shots so far.
All right, break.
If we're into things like common opponents, there has only been one, Eddie Richardson, who Damiani beat in 10 rounds back in 1987, and Mercer fought 2 years later and knocked out in 1 round.
And that really is a good indication of where their power is. Damiani, the kind of guy that will, against anybody that's a little better, will win a decision more than likely.
Mercer doing more than Damiani in this first round. Quick right hand by Damiani.
That's as good a right hand as Damiani can throw, straight. Damiani only 8 of 27, 30% landed with the jabs. Excellent advice from Hank Johnson. The jab and those body shots are what will probably get him there, Ray Mercer. The body especially. He really did hurt him to the body. There you see from the punch profile, the numbers, and Ray Mercer with a very good percentage landed.
He needs to throw at least that many jabs, but once again, Damiani's history is that when somebody throws more than 35 jabs in a round, then they can take Damiani's jab away from him. But when they throw less than that, Damiani can be effective. That's, at least coming into this fight, that's what Damiani has done.
And what Damiani does with his jab, Barry, is it's not even that he's always landing. It helps him get inside where he can then throw these little... See, that's where that jab got him in, so now he's on the inside. He can throw his little shots.
Fight being fought at close range, which it almost seems would favor Damiani.
When he gets in there, I think it would. And some believe that by letting Ray Cooper get closer to him, Ray Mercer made it a tougher fight. Although there's some good shots from outside for Damiani. So after a lackluster first round, Damiani's finding the range now.
Really not much there. Mercer really was chasing Damiani after Damiani got a right hand in fairly close.
And very amateurish move by Ray Mercer, and that's of course what they don't like to see from him. He is laying the jab out there though, Mercer. That's why Damiani is getting in with those counter punches. Ray is laying the jab out, and Francesco getting in with his counter punches.
We will be going into Damiani's corner between rounds, and we'll tell you we have an interpreter there to tell us exactly what's being said. Piero Santini alongside to interpret in the corner of Francesco Damiani.
This is the second round that Damiani wanted, and Mercer didn't, because Damiani is making things happen because Ray Mercer has gotten away from his battle plan, and he is wild in this round. And this round could be a very big confidence builder for Francesco Damiani. He needed it after the first round. Here in alien territory.
Yeah, he's fighting right now like a much more confident fighter, and he got there with a combination. Not real damaging, but nonetheless they were there. Time running out in round two, and a much better round for Damiani, and this fight shaping up as a very tactical one. Okay.
Punch. And you have to get inside the...
With your both corners, I don't want any hitting on the break. You tell him. You know? Clean break. You speak.
Molto puliti del break. Molto puliti del break, non picchiare dopo. You have to get clean when the referee called the break. Determinazione voglio, più determinazione, non le regge le 12 ripetizioni. Determination. Dai la possibilità di recupero, quello lo fa, che viene qui la porta.
So seemingly a little bit more of a pep talk than a strategy talk in the corner of Damiani.
Much more so, though, the one thing they did say was to get inside on Ray Mercer, which he's been doing pretty effectively.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad round at all for Damiani.
No, that's what they want.
In that second round, Mercer threw 33 jabs, only landed 8 of them, though, and Damiani at 50%, 14 of 28.
And there you see the total numbers in round two. Damiani moving ahead in that round, landing a good percentage of his punches. Ray Mercer is not only missing the jab, he's throwing it with no conviction. None whatsoever. That one was better than some of the others he's thrown. He was kind of backing off with that.
Yeah, he was really just showing it to him, and it got there.
And what happened to the body punches that Hank Johnson was asking him for? I'm not sure Francesco Damiani didn't get a little respect from Ray Mercer in that second round. Good hook by Damiani. And the body work.
Damiani really fighting like a confident fighter right now, and Mercer fighting like a guy who really hasn't quite figured out what's going on in there yet.
And you know, in the first round, Ray Mercer landed those good left hooks and hasn't been able to reproduce that.
You know, there's another factor, too, in the fight against Burt Cooper. Burt Cooper really busted Ray Mercer up in that fight, and this is the first fight that Mercer has had since then. And that can play hell with your mind, I would think.
It was a tough battle for Mercer. And you're right, it could have some residual effects. Got to like the way Damiani's working the body. He is throwing good shots with good leverage down there. And his jab works him in. There's the jab that gets Damiani in this kind of punching position, which he likes.
And Damiani actually got the better of that exchange with a right hand. That right hand by Mercer over the top of the head of Damiani.
Damiani is beating Ray Mercer to the punch right now, showing better hand speed than some would have given him credit for. It's a cliche word, but crafty applies for Damiani. Straight punches, much straighter than I've seen in the tapes I've seen, or when I've seen him on the undercards from Damiani. Much straighter punches.
And he got Mercer turned around once again. He's been doing that with some regularity.
All right, break. Let him go.
Boy, your point is well taken about hand speed. Damiani clearly beating Mercer to the punch right now.
And these are not straight punches coming from Ray Mercer at all.
Nice left hand.
You know my idea.
Now, in Mercer's corner, you heard Hank Johnson say you got to get off first, but I don't think it's so much that you have to get off first. You got to get off best.
Somewhat accurately. Round 4, and the first 2 of the first 3 have been rounds that Francesco Damiani would like to press in his memory book. I mean, they were nice.
Starts out this way, a right hand and 2 left hands behind it. And when Mercer does throw punches, he's lunging, he's not really on balance.
Already showing signs of being, I don't want to use the word desperate, but it almost feels that way. After what for him was a very nice first round. See, he's missing to the body and missing to the head. The accuracy of Ray Mercer not good. And there, look, he turns to the referee. Could have been nailed.
The other thing that Mercer was doing on occasion is almost winding up with his punches. It's really, here it comes.
All right, break. Cut him loose. No. Wait, step back. Go.
Mercer has an Olympic gold medal and Francesco Damiani doesn't. But Francesco Damiani has got that WBO title, and also he's got things going his way tonight so far.
Definitely since the first round.
Now there's the good body work by Mercer on the inside.
Nice uppercut by Mercer.
And look what it set up for him. This is what Mercer should be doing, but boy, Francesco Damiani doesn't back up an inch, does he? Fascinating. Strong jab by Mercer. Wow. Now that's what they want from him. He's got a punishing jab.
Watch your head. Watch your head.
And that uppercut starting to find a home for Mercer also.
It's very simple. Ray Mercer's throwing now. He wasn't throwing with conviction for a couple of rounds. He's paying the price sometimes.
Damiani again there quicker.
Ray Mercer does not fight that well on the inside. He really doesn't. And he's paid for it against Burt Cooper, against Jerry Jones in a fight we did. He's paying for it right now against Damiani.
Nice combination, 3-punch combination by Damiani, and Mercer misses with a left hand in return. Damiani's just sharp right now.
Break. Let him go. Come on.
There's a little swelling under the left eye of Ray Mercer, and he really did swell up after the Burt Cooper fight.
Get this straight.
Sei forte! Non c'è problema nel match! Ehi, non c'è problema!
You are very strong. You are too strong. You don't have no problem to beat him.
Lì, guardami. Cerca di essere convinto in quello che fai. L'uomo è tutto lì, forse anche meno se
Go
ti metti
with
a fare
more
quello che
conviction
fai.
inside.
Hai capito?
More
non c'è
determination.
determinazione in quello che fai. Devi essere più convinto in quello che
Go
fai.
with more
Hai capito
determination.
no, eh?
Deep breath. Deep breath, man. Suck it in. Deep. Deep. Follow some of this. Hold still. You gotta get out of here. Now, please. Go.
We start the 5th round. And Ray Mercer is going to have to figure out something here.
One of the things he might figure out is throwing more jabs. He only threw 16 in the last round. The reason we're harping on this is because traditionally people have done better against Damiani when they jab against him. And of those jabs he landed in the last round, they were strong by Mercer. I think to win this bout, unless something really changes radically, Ray Mercer's going to have to make this an alley brawl and hope that his power wins out. But you know what? When he gets in those big exchanges with Damiani, he's getting nailed too.
Yeah, Damiani, clearly the crisper puncher, the sharper puncher, even when they're in an exchange. That's not to say that that can't change, but Damiani just seems to have Mercer measured better.
Damiani throwing much better combinations. And again, there's the jab. Even if it's not landing, it's getting him in very good punching position.
Nice right hand uppercut by Damiani.
That came, excuse me, Brad, that came from way back, and it shows you that Ray Mercer's reflexes in it tonight are not really as sharp as they might be.
And again, a little swelling. In fact, it's more than a little swelling under the left eye of Ray Mercer. That is the kind of swelling that could really cause him a problem as this fight goes on. Another right hand by Damiani and an uppercut behind him.
And Damiani giving Mercer just enough movement there. He's not running around the ring, just enough so that Mercer can't quite get the right punching angles on him. And you know something? Americans have been kidding about Francesco Damiani for the last year or so. They've been kidding about him with his WBO title. He may have come here to prove something.
Well, so far he's certainly doing that. He's a different fighter than the last time I saw him.
Yeah, different than any time I've seen him either.
And that could go back to the old thing, too, if some fighters just fight to the caliber of their competition. The last time I saw him, it was against an inferior opponent. And here he is against a guy who theoretically at least is an up-and-comer, and he's fighting much better. Mercer's shot was caught on the gloves, and Damiani connected with two.
Mercer landed those left hooks in the first round. Since then, they have not been there. He's been throwing them from too far out, and Damiani keeping his hands up very well.
And there may be a little bit of a cut along the right eye of Mercer. We'll watch that. I can't quite tell if it's perspiration or cut.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Suck it in. Deep breath. Come on. Suck it in. Hold it. Let's try some angles on it. Let's box him a little bit, give him a little more punch. Movement there. Just a little bit, okay?
Here's the body shot that we believe hurt Ray Mercer, or rather Damiani. Right hand downstairs, sent him reeling backwards, and then he started pounding on him with right hands. So Ray Mercer working that body and getting some results. But that's where Damiani looks at his corner and shakes his head like, no, I'm okay. Well, was he? I don't know. We'll find out in this round.
Mercer did open him up a little bit, as we said, at the end of that round. So a better 6th round for Ray Mercer, and we move to 7th.
But even so, in that round, I really thought Damiani did much better work.
Round 7 scheduled for 12. The fight's still there.
Damiani beat Tyrell Biggs, the man who had beaten him in 1984, beat one gold medalist. He'd like to notch another one tonight.
Incidentally, we talked about a little swelling under the left eye of Ray Mercer about 3 rounds ago. It has gotten no worse. In fact, if anything, it might even be a little bit better, and that's credit to Percy Richardson in the corner. And as you can see, the total punches in round number 6, and Damiani still with a much higher percentage and a higher rate of throwing punches.
Very accurate in that last round. Those are 2 superb jabs by Damiani. 2 elements of this fight plan for Ray Mercer, and they've gone out the window, the jab and the body work. You heard Hank Johnson harping on it. Ray Mercer has either been unwilling or unable to make those 2 things work.
And Damiani, you touched upon this earlier, that Mercer would like nothing more than to get him into a real brawl, and Damiani's just not allowing himself to get into that.
And even when he does, Damiani is getting some pretty good results, Barry. Mercer's still trying to find that elusive left hook, but he was landing so easily in round 1. When you looked at round 1, you got the feeling Ray Mercer was going to land his power shots easily, and it hasn't happened. And still Damiani working that uppercut on the inside. He discovered that about the 2nd round.
All right, break. Stop punching.
Damiani rocked into the left hand from Mercer that time.
Mercer falling back as he delivers the right hand. Ray Mercer's accuracy is abysmal. I mean, he's missing everything he's throwing. Just does not look sharp with his punches.
Conversely, Damiani is very sharp. Clashing of the heads going on in this round, too.
When you come to Mercer and punch, he stops. It's been his problem as a pro. If he doesn't get off first, he doesn't get off.
Break, come out, let him go, let him go.
I am sure, even though this fight is certainly within Ray Mercer's grasp, there are many raised eyebrows among boxing fans in the boxing community at what is going on here in Atlantic City right now.
Mercer kind of walked away from that, and I think what happened is he might have gotten a head actually in his chest. Walked away, took a deep breath, and Rudy Battle never did step between them, so he was fair game.
Hard to see any confidence in Ray Mercer's eyes right now.
Break, come out, let him go.
Gonna go into Damiani's corner, and he is fighting like a confident fighter. His fans think their man is ahead, and we'll get the translation in his corner.
Come va? Dimmi la verità.
How are you doing?
A me non mi puoi dire le bugie, a me mi devi dire la verità.
Don't lie to me.
E allora devi alzare il ritmo una volta che si muove.
Every time you move, you have to stop him.
Hai le capacità per fare queste cose, lo
You
devi
can do
fare.
Tell him to be careful of low blows, okay? Watch the low blows, watch. Speak. Tell him.
And that's not going to get it. I want a combination. 3-punch combination.
Bad right hand.
Swallow that shit.
Ray Mercer's. I don't think there's exactly panic yet, but there's less than a surety.
We are deep into this bout, and that man has, I think, won nothing since the first round. Now, the judges could see it differently, but whatever, Francesco Damiani has, I think, imposed his will on Ray Mercer in this bout.
This fight, of course, being carried live to Italy and all over Europe. Damiani, needless to say, a big local hero in this country.
And as we've said, not a man who has engendered a lot of respect on this side of the Atlantic, but tonight going a long way toward that. And you know, some will denigrate, if he would win, they'll denigrate Ray Mercer and say, oh no, he wasn't that good or whatever. But you know what? He's a good young heavyweight on his way up and close to the top. And if Damiani should continue with a performance like this, take nothing away from him.
All right, break. Stop punching. Let him go.
Damiani is one of those guys you have a feeling that everybody's going to want to fight because he looks like he should be beatable.
Absolutely.
All right, break. Let him go. Stop punching. Step back.
Well, there was talk of Bruce Seldon being the opponent that would get in. against Mercer, perhaps. But hey, why not against Damiani if he would win? And of course, we're not counting out Ray Mercer by any stretch. He's a powerful young man who, even in the last round, landed a right to body that looked like it hurt Damiani. But Ray had better pick up the gas, step on the gas here.
And again, I hasten to point out that he did have a tough time with Bert Cooper, who cuffed him around a little bit, and he had to suck it up to win in the late rounds.
That's right.
The bad news here is that Ray Mercer's pushing his punches. And if you're doing that, you're not going to land that big knockout punch. Damiani's punches are a lot crisper right now. And Mercer's going backwards. He's not coming forward. He's not.
In fact, I should say, because when he has come,
you know, it goes back to the battle of the jabs. You mentioned it at the beginning. Good hook by Damiani. Wow.
Damiani clearly the best of that.
And all those punches by Mercer were pushed punches. He did not get any leverage into it. You can see evidence of a number of things here. One, that Damiani is not a huge puncher. He's landed tremendous shots. Ray Mercer hasn't gone anywhere. Now Mercer, we've acknowledged, is a tough guy, but still, those are big punches. Hey, Ray Mercer's backing up now. That's not his game. He is not a boxer. He is a slugger. If he keeps backing up, he will never win this fight.
Coming to the end of the 8th round, and Damiani clearly taking control.
I get it.
You got to give me a whole round. You give me a piece of round. You're blowing it like this. Here's what we're going to do. Keep fighting.
Reno Tomasi, does everything.
Yes.
Reno is the man everywhere.
Delightful man and a great commentator. And I'll tell you what, they've got lots to talk about back home because they are watching their man, Francesco Damiani, do a paint job on Ray Mercer, boxing him, using the jab effectively, keeping Mercer at bay and landing shots like that right hand and that left hook. Much quicker on the inside and landing big shots. Those are pretty good shots.
Stay back in the corner. Stay in the corner.
Well, it's interesting. Again, Al, we talked about the jabs and what kind of an effect they would have on the outcome of this fight. Now, both men have thrown the same number of jabs, but
they have both thrown 207, but Damiani has landed 91 and Mercer 54. Where's the mouthpiece of Ray Mercer? That's pretty weird. They forgot to put it in. No, not true. I apologize. It's the glove. Thought maybe the mouthpiece wasn't there.
Okay. 9 seconds had tipped off the clock in that round, so
let's go.
That's where they'll pick it up when Rudy Barra signals action, and now we're underway again. So 2:51 to go.
And seconds becoming precious to Ray Mercer. He's got 12 minutes left to make some dramatic things happen.
And he's given no indication that he's going to be able to do that, because anytime he tries to do something dramatic, he actually gets beat.
Let him go. Break.
Desperation, even in the cheering of some of the Ray Mercer supporters here. There's starting to be more of getting away from way to go, Ray, to you got to do this, Ray.
Well, yeah, I think they're stunned by what's happened here. Damiani has shown much better boxing skills than many thought he had, and Ray Mercer has not been able since that first round to land anything of terrific note. Tentative. Ray's very, very tentative. Look, he's boxing. Now, that time, he was able to get that left hook in because he moved, but in general, that is not his game plan. That is not the way Ray Mercer wins bouts.
And it becomes apparent, too, that one punch isn't going to get Damiani out of there. It's not easy to say.
It's even harder for Ray Mercer to do.
Let him go.
And the power edge we talked about with Ray Mercer, I think, gets minimized as this fight goes on, and as we see him pushing his punches, even all those jabs, there's nothing on those jabs. And he's also not following it with anything. Whereas Damiani's jab, which we just saw, has a lot more sting to it.
Very good jab. think it's worth mentioning that this does not appear to be a case of what Mercer isn't doing. It's what Damiani is doing.
Break, let him go. Break, step up.
Damiani is boxing superbly. Look at that. Superb combinations. And when Mercer's in this position, he can't land. And part of it is because he's so close to Damiani. It's not where Ray gets his best leverage.
Nice body shot by Damiani there with the right hand. And a glancing blow. I didn't think that was a big shot at all. And Damiani goes down and is given no indication of getting up.
He got in the eye, I think. Wow. My goodness.
That's it. A huge cut. Broke his nose. I'm sure that's what happened.
Nowhere.
Bleeding profusely from the nose. It was not a particularly big punch, I don't believe. It's just where it was, more than what it was. And the most dramatic turnaround I've seen in a long time.
Astonishing. Ray Mercer with a half uppercut, half hook. Knocking Damiani out at a moment when, for all the world, he looked to be in desperate trouble. It's been a night of some strange doings. Missed the strangest. You can theorize, and probably it's true, he simply broke his nose with that shot, and it simply was too painful for Francesco Damiani.
I'm sure that's exactly what happened. I don't profess to be a doctor, but in this case, I feel pretty certain that that's what happened.
Wow. I mean, that is as shocking as you can get in a boxing ring because of what had preceded it. You see the look on Ray Mercer's face. When he went into what wasn't the neutral corner, he had to run away. If you look at that nose, oh boy, yeah. Mercer was shocked. He thought to himself, wow.
Well, it was a good punch, but it was not the kind of punch that puts a man down and out.
We don't think. I'm sure we'll see some of it. But the thing is that obviously it did damage, but no, it didn't look like it was the kind of punch that would knock Damiani. It looked like one that glanced by him almost, but clearly it did tremendous damage to his nose. And Damiani almost seemed resigned. He was in such pain, and it was bleeding profusely. It was almost like he knew in his mind, I really can't go on, no matter how game I might be.
And the crowd is more stunned than anything else, too. That's the reaction. Bob Arum, I was watching Bob Arum in the ring. He was kind of slapping his head like, I don't believe this. He was almost like Jim Galvano when he won the Final Four.
Well, we're going, gentlemen, to see if we can figure out exactly how this punch did the damage it did. Damiani throwing as he was and really being on.
It was a glancing punch.
Yes, but apparently it must have hit the nose just right to break it, or this probably will give us an even better look. Now here's the left hand. It will kind of come right across his face. Oh, right on the tip of the nose. Oh yeah. It just landed perfectly on the nose. Just perfectly on that nose to break it. And that's what did it to Damiani. And we'll get another look. And you'll see it hit that nose in just the right spot. And enough to break it and cause the end of this fight. Right on the tip of the nose. There was an elbow in there also. Personally, I think it was probably the punch rather than the elbow.
Yeah, I think so too. And it was just in the right place. Look at the faces of the people at ringside.
Shocked. Completely shocked.
Something like ours, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Tough way to lose for this man. And boy, did Ray Mercer dig down and find something. And a W, I guess, is a W. Here's Michael Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Trump Taj Mahal, referee Rudy Battle reaches the count of 10 at 2 minutes, 47 seconds of the 9th round. The winner and new WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Merciless Ray Mercer. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for a great effort by a great champion.
Well, I think the reaction here by everyone concerned continues to be shock, and I don't think anyone's more shocked than this man right here. Ray Mercer is a winner. We're going to have a chance to take another look at it. It isn't so much what the punch was, but where the punch was. We'll do a little analysis here. Here is the left hook. Uppercut, really. And the elbow comes back, but I still believe that it was the punch. You can judge. I believe it was a punch, not an elbow. And I believe it was, as Al Bernstein mentioned, right over the tip of the nose. It was just in a place, and you could see it, almost a delayed reaction from Damiani. I don't think he realized he was as hurt as he was for an instant. And then went down and could not get up. And again, look at the crowd behind him. Incredulous look on the face of almost everyone here. Present company included.
Hey, Rudy, give me a down.
And I think included in that man as well, as Ray Mercer has scored a victory, but it's a victory that will have both a period and a question mark after it. And he has thus run his record to 17-0, an extremely tough loss for Damiani. We're trying to get a hold of the officials' cards so that we can tell you exactly how this fight had gone up to this point. And we believe we'll be able to do that. Al Bernstein is amongst them. It really was a punch. And it broke the nose of Damiani. Again, I don't profess to be a doctor. I'm not giving a medical opinion, but I think in this case there's no question about it. Punch or elbow?
Hey, Mark!
I still believe it was a punch, but a little bit hard to tell. I don't really think that the elbow got to the nose, but it was a clean punch. And we're going to get a look at the scoring. And on the three judges' cards, and Al, I think you could probably hear me, Damiani was in front on all three judges' cards, and in front big time on all of them. By 6 points on one card, 4 points on another, and 5 points on another. Damiani was winning the fight. Let's go up to Al Bernstein now, who is with the winner. Al?
All right, thank you, Barry. Ray, we can report to you, now, first of all, congratulations on your win. We can report to you that you were way behind on all the judges' scorecard. I assume you knew that.
I think I did.
I guess you did. Were you surprised that that left hand got him out? It landed right on the point of the nose. When you threw it, did you see it hurt him right away?
Okay, first of all, I want to say hello to Connie, Kim, Tracy, and Lynn, my family, and Fort Huachuca. And thank Fort Huachuca for letting me train there. And all the guys in Desert Shield, this is for you, and this is the kind of determination it's going to take to win the battle, and we're going to do it.
All right, well, you did have determination, and you came back from big troubles. First of all, as I said, did you know that punch was hurt him right away?
I know it landed, but I was trying to get room to throw combinations, and I just felt something just disappear in front of me. And he was down. Next thing you know, I looked down.
All right, what were your problems leading up to that round? Why couldn't you get off against him?
I think I was too hungry, and I was trying to land the hard shots to the body and all the hard shots when I should have been boxing, taking my time, and picking the punches.
All right, let's take a look at now where you landed the good left hand, the one that did him in, got you the WBO title, and shocked just about everybody, probably yourself a little.
Including me.
Yeah, including you. Let's take a look, Ray.
I knew I'd get in on it. I've been trying to throw the uppercut. I knew I can get in one time. I got in a couple of times, but it didn't phase him. That was just perfect. I didn't even feel it really on the end of my glove.
Is that right? You didn't even feel it was really a strong shot?
I didn't even feel it.
Did it land? I guess it landed right on the tip of the nose, broke his nose. Have you done that before?
No, this is my first time really hurting somebody, and it feels good. I'm the baddest man in the world, and I'd like to thank the Commission of New Jersey. They're the best, and without this, it wouldn't be possible.
We take a look. Now, tell us what exactly, you're coming through with the left hand here, Ray. How did you feel throwing this uppercut?
I felt very good. I knew I was landing the uppercut. We worked on the 45, and that's what it was, and it landed.
All right. You and the Triple Threat Enterprise people are happy about what happened, but I have to ask this question. What can you do to correct the problems you had early in the match? I know you're celebrating, you're a champion, but that had to be a little dismaying to you.
Well, you know, I'm just like any other fighter out there, whether you're the champion or not. I'm still learning, and I'm just going back to the gym. We're going to work on a lot of things. I learned a lot from this fight, and thank God to Triple Threat Enterprise.
All right, Mark Roberts, what's next for your champion?
Well, first I'd like to say that Ray, in 21 months of being a pro, has not only shown in every fight the determination, Odom, Cooper, and all those other fights coming up. He's learning more than any of these young guys who's fighting nobodies. None of these guys could have handled Damiani. We all know that. Ray is after Tyson, Holyfield, Foreman, Ruddick. Bring them on.
All right, who's next, though, for him, do you think?
Right now, we have a lot of alternatives after this fight for huge money. We're going to sit down. We're going to evaluate all of them. Ray Mercer is now in a position to fight for huge money, and that's what he's going to fight for. And we're going to go over all the options there. And Ray Mercer is truly a champion, and he showed that. And now, you have to realize this is a man that only started boxing at the age of 24. This is a future man that the world will recognize as the baddest man on this planet.
All right, Ray, one thing that happened during this bout, Hank Johnson was telling you to jab and do the body work. You're having a hard time doing that a little bit early. Why was the body work so tough for you to get into?
Well, he had good defense. Like I said, you know, I'm still learning. I got to go back to the gym and work on a lot of things. I've just been boxing 2 years. I give myself a lot of credit, and thank God to Bob Aaron. He's the best man beside my father.
Were you tired at all there or just frustrated?
I trained in Fort Huachuca, Arizona, the best place to train.
and I'm in tip-top shape. I just had to land the right punch.
Did you feel confident that you would get to him eventually?
I told Coach Jay, he's telling me throw more combination. I was just going to work up, throw more combination. I knew I would get to him. I had to, or I might as well have just quit.
Was it frustrating, though, during those middle rounds?
Well, it was kind of tough. I was just trying to figure out a way that I could get in and try to land my punches. I tried a little lateral movement. I was just trying little things. We go back to the gym. We work on everything.
All right. Well, congratulations on winning your title, Ray. Ray Mercer does it in astonishing fashion, shocking fashion, he admitted, even to him. Let's go down to Barry Tompkins at ringside.
All right, thanks very much, Al. Well, as we mentioned, it was incredulous on everybody's face, including Ray Mercer, and he's the first one to admit it. So Ray Mercer, nonetheless, comes away with a win. Ray Mercer is the winner, and it falls into the category of who'd have thunk it. It's been a bizarre night here tonight.
Strange indeed, but exciting. Nothing boring going on here, that's for sure. And this man put an exclamation point on the evening with a shot that I loved his candor. Even he admitted. I said it shocked everybody, and he said, even me.
Yeah, it did, because we said it seemed like a glancing blow. Well, it was where the blow was positioned. Matter of fact, that position where he hit it right on the tip of the nose, very dangerous. Mike Tyson always talks about that, kind of kids about that's where he tries to aim his punches. Well, that's where Ray Mercer hit it, and I talked to Rudy Badley, the referee in the fight, and he said it clearly broke Damiani's nose. There was no question about it.
We talk about the excitement of Ray Mercer. What about the disappointment of Damiani, who gave the performance of his life tonight until that happened?
And was ahead on every card. Let's take a look once again at the last round of this fight. Ray Mercer and Francesco Damiani, and again we point out that Damiani was ahead, and ahead big time on all three of the officials' cards. Here are the final moments of this fight. Then this was early in the fight because remember 9 seconds into this final round, what turned out to be the final round, tape came loose on Ray Mercer's gloves and they had to go over. Hank Johnson, you see, doing a little repair job. That was just 9 seconds into the fight. And then we got started once again. As you see, Rudy Battle taking a good long look at it.
And this little break might have even benefited Ray Mercer because early on in the round there, getting a chance to compose himself, think things through yet again, and knowing full well that what would win this bout for him, and we said it during it, so it's not hindsight, would be one big punch. It's about all he had to possibly do in this bout. And of course, the reason why it seemed remote, and I think probably truthfully in his mind, I don't know that he was as confident as he would say they would get it. He was pushing his punches. He wasn't really landing with the leverage that he wanted. And this round was really not that much different than the others.
No.
There was no clue here that this was going to happen.
None whatsoever. That's what accounted, I think, for the expression on the faces of everybody who was watching it, including the man who delivered it, including the man who went down from it.
That's true. Damiani's still working the body and shooting his little uppercuts and basically beating Mercer to the punch. It had been this way over all the rounds, with the possible exception of the first round. And I have to tell you, Hank Johnson said to me leaving the ring, he said, Damiani's a much better fighter than I thought he was.
Yeah, me too.
And me three.
Yeah, Damiani really showed very well. And now we talked earlier about the fact that every heavyweight in America who's up amongst the elite is going to want to fight Damiani, and I think that's going to happen again. Damiani's going to get a lot of fights and a lot of paydays out of this.
I think he will, and I have to be truthful. A lot of people might want to fight Ray Mercer, too.
Yeah, I think that's true.
He knocked Damiani out. They see some of the things Damiani did to exploit him, and Ray candid in admitting, as was his manager, that he's still learning. They feel he's going to be, as they said in quotes, the baddest man on the planet, but he might not be quite yet.
Oh, and that's the thing. Now you have to ask yourself, because Mark Roberts saying to you, there's big money fights and all that kind of thing, but there's one school of thought that says it might have been pushing him even to take him as far as this fight tonight, and he was losing this fight. Now, how much further do you push him?
And let's think to ourselves, we saw Bruce Seldon tonight. There's lots of talk of him as a future opponent for Ray Mercer. That's a war.
Yeah.
Could be an interesting bout.
Bruce Seldon with the great hand speed as well.
Yeah, now there Ray Mercer doing what he wanted to do throughout most of this fight, landing a couple jabs and straight right hand. And in looking at this round in retrospect, it does look very similar to the other round.
Getting down to the point now where Ray Mercer will come up with that sort of half hook, half uppercut. And there it was. And even then, it looked like a glancing blow.
Fascinating. You have to see that in slow motion to know where it landed. You see when he gets up, the blood is flowing from his nose and blood all over his legs, and you know that this is a serious injury. This is not a man that quits. I mean, Damiani's been nailed with some shots, and has not quit. And the celebration begins, and you know what? Bob Aramos got knocked out in that celebration.
Yeah,
it was,
he did. That's what I was
wild.
saying earlier. I haven't seen anybody in a place like that, in a moment like that, since Jim Valvano won the Final Four, looking around for somebody to hug. And Akbar Muhammad already had Ray Mercer.
He
There was
always
nobody.
finds someone to hug.
So Ray Mercer comes away with a win, and to look back on the rest of the card that we saw tonight, because remember, we started this program by saying these fighters not only have to win, but have to win impressively. Tommy Morrison certainly did that. Bruce Seldon certainly did that, and I don't know what you can say about the main event.
Well, the main event was a situation in which Ray Mercer may have those problems he had early may set up even more for him in the way of opponents, because now people might look at those first two guys and think they weren't ready before. Maybe they're ready.
So Ray Mercer is a winner. He is now 17-0, and he takes the next logical step, whatever logic dictates. As for the man he beat, he's going to go on and have more fights too. Bruce Seldon certainly will take a big step up. He defeated Jose Ribalta in impressive fashion tonight, a TKO. At the end of round number 3, Ribalta could not continue any further. And then it was Tommy Morrison who was a most impressive win over James Quick Tillis, who wasn't, but nonetheless, it was more a case of what Morrison did rather than what Quick Tillis didn't. And that's always the story, of course, in boxing. We've talked about that ad nauseum, but that only took 1 minute and 51 seconds of round number 1 for Tommy Morrison to take, I think, a pretty good stride for him, coming back, shaking off a little ring rust after he had the movie-making experience. So now he's back as a full-time boxer and looks all the bit the part of a future champion. Ray Mercer, he beats Damiani in round 9, but I think it could be for him a case of back to the old drawing board.
It really is, and you don't like to be saying that to a guy that just won the WBO, but I'll tell you what, Ray Mercer got his win.